one-sided, so we can just go like this when we're up here. The first thing you will ever do is the call to worship after I sound the bowl. And so in here it'll be like right here, I invite you to open your hands for opening hymn. So it's on here where you would go.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yep, that's great.
Okay. I think I'll just leave this here since there's nothing up here to be done. Oh, actually, Brigitte and I are going to do a call and response, so I will leave this up here for she and I. Okay. Something at the end of this that you don't need to know about, and then you can just stay up there because then next will be
Come seeker, come traveler, come all humankind, online or in person, whomever you love.
Come and be welcome at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Cheyenne, where we are building a community of refuge, where all have equal worth and are invited into spiritual exploration as a foundation for hope, compassionate service, and action.
This is a place where questions are encouraged, a place with room for all of who you are.
This is a place full of works in progress, a place for being human together.
Welcome. It is good to be here.
Settle in, take a deep breath in, and exhale. This is a time for community. And today we are pleased to welcome Reverend Sean Neal Barron, who comes to us from Foothills Unitarian Church in Fort Collins. Reverend Sean believes in the power of queer joy and a future where love and justice take the lead. Born on Treaty 7 land in Calgary, he studied at Harvard Divinity School before landing at Foothills Unitarian Church in Fort Collins, where he serves as one of the 3 ministers. Sean and his partner Charles are raising a couple of wonderfully hilarious teenagers in a network of chosen families, all under the watchful gaze of their loving but slightly anxious dog, Dolly, and her new cousin, Reverie.
I'm Brigitte Paul, and I'm a member of the board. I'm here to welcome you to the church where we are on a shared journey to find meaning, connection, and community together. If you are new here, please fill out a welcome card from the pew box in front of you and drop it in an offering basket when those come around, so we may share information with you and find what nourishes your spirit here. There are note cards in your pew for written joys and sorrows for the pastoral prayer. We pass a square basket during the offering to gather these. Write your name or remain anonymous, or write "do not share" on the card if there's something you want held in care by our caring committee but not spoken aloud. You may also email caring@uucheyenne.org with any concerns or requests. Many activities and events happen here each week in this community, and here are a few of them upcoming. I'm gonna point out that this coming Saturday from 2 to 4 is Legal Observer 2 training with Antonio from ACLU. You do not have to have been to Legal Observer 1 training. We always need people to play roles, and it's a really good way to kind of enter into this arena to see what kind of things that our immigrant community is going to need from us. We have coffee hour today after our service. Thursdays we have yoga. Monday is Bibles and beer at Uncle Charlie's from 5:30 to 6:30. And there's a Friday drum circle, August 28th from 7 to 9. And then these are some things I just pulled off of the bulletin board. There's a book talk with Nico Lang, August 22nd from 3 to 5. And this is at Highlands Presbyterian Church. And Highlands also has an opportunity to be involved in Authentic Selves. It's a photo gallery. It's August 22nd, and these very much relate to this similar book, so I think that will be great. Highlands is a good partner to us. They partner with us from Fire, so while we're busy getting food together for the current family, Highlands took on the challenge of getting supplies, school supplies for all of our families. They specifically made requests, and one of the people that we've worked with actually helped all these families put their list together and give it to Highlands. So we're about ready to deliver those the night before school. So like Santa School Claus is coming soon. And I'd like to introduce Heather. She has some things to share with you about Wellspring.
Hi everyone, I am for those of you who don't know, I'm Heather Allen, and I actually facilitate the Wellspring classes. We are getting ready to start those hopefully next month. We're actually doing 3. We're able to do all the way up to the 3rd year. You do have to take the first one to go to the second, and the second to go to the third. I am working out who's going to be helping facilitate and everything in that sort. It's usually a Saturday or Sunday. It is a couple hours, and that's actually adjustable by your class. So if, like my class will more than likely meet after, after service on Sundays, because that's just, we're already here, we're just going to do it. And so, but if you have any questions about it, let me explain a little bit. Wellspring is actually to help through your spiritual journey. It gives you, the first one gives you like the foundation and the sources of Wellspring, and then it just builds from there. It just starts at the bottom, and it just helps you through everything. We do spiritual practices. For anybody who was here last week, art is my huge spiritual practice that I share with everybody. And so it just helps. It's just about how you get through, your spiritual journey and what calms you and centers you and everything like that. So we always share and everything. And it's a real diverse opinions and everything, and it's real good. And, you become part of this group and this family, a little family inside our family. So if you have any questions about it, go ahead and you can see you can see me or Mr. Mike, and I'm sure Audrey would be able to, answer any questions. But if you're interested in signing up before it comes, before it starts, just go ahead and see me, and we'll get going from there. Okay? Thank you.
We do every month and something called Share the Plate, where we all donate during this time of service, and that money is split between 2 different organizations, us, because we rock, and this month we are splitting the plate with Better Wyoming. So is anybody here to speak for Better Wyoming? No. Okay. All right, I'm just going to read what was in the newsletter so that you guys know. I know that I have been writing furtive postcards for Better Wyoming to many people, because the goal here is that we remove some people that are not voting in our best interest for people that care about Wyoming and are funded by Wyomingites and are not funded by out-of-state parties that have a different agenda. So lots of postcards I have been mailing or putting together. August Share the Plate is Better Wyoming. We're building engaged communities. We coach our neighbors to engage in the civic processes that shape our lives and communities. We believe every day Wyomingites should have a say in the decisions that shape our lives. Through civic education, leadership, development, and collective action, we coach folks on how to speak up, get involved, and work together to improve our communities. It's up to us to build a better Wyoming.
And then I have an announcement that it is a little bit on the disappointing side, but we will no longer be having Lloyd as our accompanist. He has chosen to no longer come here. So our meditative music today is going to be in your own hearts and minds as we take some mindful breaths in a communal silence filled with love. Thank you all. Your generosity is so much appreciated for the work of this church and for the community beyond our walls.
Going to need your help for the call to worship. I figured with some things shifting in the order of service and an accompanist who isn't accompanying, we should do a little improv. So I need you to shout out some responses to these questions, and we'll weave them together into a call to worship. So the first is, how does your heart feel as you arrive this morning? Grief? Full? Joyful. All right, this next one is a little bit harder, which is, what animal would you not trust to drive a car? Pigeon. Snakes, I like this. All right. Okay, that's good. And the last question is, what is one thing that you can truly depend on?
Love, friends, community, myself.
Let's see what we can do. As we arrive into this place with hearts that are filled to the brim with grief or joy or heaviness or something in between, we gather. Our lives are our own, and yet sometimes this world feels like it is driven not by love, but by a pigeon or cat or some other force beyond our control, leading us to places we wish we didn't go, and yet here we are, finding ourselves amongst a community of care, reminding ourselves and each other that first and foremost, love, joy, and care should find their ways into our hearts, into our minds, and into the work we do in the world. As we gather, let us find ourselves rooted in that place. For our opening hymn, I invite you to rise in body and in spirit. Grab that teal hymnal, and we are going to sing hymn 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place,
when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes,
then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place,
when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words.
Then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place.
When we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith.
Then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place.
Sacred Hour by Richard Rothbauer. We set aside an hour each week to worship the holy, to come together as a community, and to refresh our souls. Let us consecrate this hour with the spirit of devotion and an attitude of reverence. And may we find in this sacred hour the grace we need to love ourselves, our beloved community, and our world. May the holy meet us in this place and guide our hearts and souls in our search for truth and understanding. May we rejoice and be present in this holy place during our hour together. And now, will you join me in a spirit of prayer or meditation? Spirit of life, of love, and of grace, we gather to be with one another, to offer comfort in hard times, to celebrate together in our joyful moments, to dwell together in the wonder and mystery of this magnificent and ever-changing life. We have a request to please do a mental health check. Take a moment to check up on yourself as well as friends and family, letting them know that someone is there to listen or just sit in silence with them. May we think of those that we know in our own lives, our community, our country, and the world who may be suffering as a result of conflict of any sort, interpersonal, war, places where there may have been a recent earthquake or fire. Let our hearts go out to them. And not only that, let's resolve to take some action to help in any way we can those who need some respite. May we acknowledge this glorious summertime with the recent rains and the beautiful sunshine and the increase in growth and greenery around us. May we take joy in this season of nearly harvest time. And may we hold in our hearts the joys and sorrows within our hearts that are perhaps not ready to be shared aloud. And maybe take that mental health check with friends and give them that support. And let's take a moment of silence just to acknowledge our own inner well-being. Take stock of what is going well in our lives and give praise and rejoice in that. And also acknowledge what may be causing us some suffering and give ourselves that compassion in that we are doing our best to deal. May we find in this space peace, comfort, and community that enfolds us. Amen, and blessed be. And now I invite you to open your gray hymnals and rise in body or in spirit to join us in singing hymn number 83, Winds Be Still. And now, if there are young people or those who are young at heart who would like to join us up on the chancel at this time to help lead in the speaking of our covenant, which can be found inside your order of service, inside the hardcover. So we begin with love. God is the spirit of this church, and service is its thoughts. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth, and to help others.
Bunch of old people in the room, apparently, sitting in your pews. Good to be with you all. Oh, hello. We have a friend down here, and we have another friend with you. Who is your friend? Who's this right here?
What is it?
What is it?
It's a bunny.
It's a bunny. Of course it's a bunny. I love it. Well, I came from Fort Collins, and Fort Collins is known for many things, not all of them good. But one thing that most people don't know about Fort Collins is we have a store that sells magical crayons. They look just like any other crayons, but when you say a magical word, they actually disappear. I know, right? Do you think you can figure out what the magic word is? It changes every day. I don't even know what it is. You don't think so? Well, let's just take a moment. Look within. Is there a magical sounding word that is emerging? What sounds like a magic word? What do you think?
I think it's hocus pocus.
You think it's hocus pocus? All right, let's try it. I think on the count of 3, I need everyone to say hocus pocus, and we'll see what happens. All right, 1, 2, 3. Hocus pocus. Whoa. Did they just disappear?
Yeah.
They were there, but now they're gone. What do you think happened?
It disappeared
They disappeared.
because of my word.
Because of your words. How many of you think the crayons have disappeared? How many of you think something else happened to the crayons? How many of you who thought something else happened to the crayons sort of wanted them to disappear deep down in your heart a little bit? Well, I have to tell you that the crayons didn't actually totally disappear. If I open up my crayons, you'll realize that they were actually only half a crayon. And I was holding them up at the top here. And then I let go, and they disappeared. Interesting. Now, do you like knowing how I did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like knowing how I did that. And why do you like knowing how I did that?
I just like I like stuff disappearing.
You like stuff disappearing, me too. There's many things in this world I wish would just disappear. So, at Foothills, we have been going through, the church I work at, we've been going through big church words that people don't like. And we've been trying to find definitions that we do like. And one of the words we talked about the other week was the word faith. And faith is a word that can be used in a lot of different ways. A lot of people would tell you that there's a lot of things in this world that you should just accept, right? You should just accept that the crayons disappeared. You shouldn't ask any questions about where the crayons went. And that's what faith is. And I don't really like that definition of faith, because we should be asking questions, right? We should be answering calls from the beyond. I like a definition of faith that says that faith is what do you trust the most, even when you don't have all of the information. What do you trust the most, even when you don't have all of the information?
My nice teacher.
You have nice teachers. I think that is one of the most honest answers, because I think in this life we find people that we can trust, right? And they help us figure out how to navigate the world when we don't have all the information. And the good news is that this world is filled with people that can help us figure out what to trust and what not to trust. But it's always important that we keep asking questions, especially if there's a part of us inside that says, you know what? I think someone's trying to pull a magic trick on me. I think something's fishy here. And that's what this church is all about, is that faith is what do we trust? And sometimes what do we trust is our ability to keep asking questions. What do you think? Do you have a lot of questions inside you?
No, not that much.
Not that much.
Said that.
You have the questions are inside the earth? I like that. Well, thanks for joining me up here. Do you want to keep my crayons to do it as a trick for other people in your life?
Yeah.
Awesome. You can have the crayons. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to invite us just to take a few moments in centering. I'm going to read a poem by Wendell Berry, and then we're just going to sit in some silence for a moment. And then I'm going to invite us into song. This is from the poet Wendell Berry. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light for a time. I rest in the grace of the world and am free. I invite you in this time of silence to notice the places in your life that you can rest for a time in that feeling of freedom. May we rest for a time together. Amen. The sermon I'm going to preach is on this word grace. And so to begin, I'm going to invite you to remain seated as we're going to sing a hymn that you've probably heard before. It is Amazing Grace, which is in your hymnal twice, in fact, which is interesting for a group of Unitarian Universalists to have it in there twice. And the number is on a sheet that I need to find up here, but someone can shout it out. It is 205. So I invite you to find 205, and we're going to remain seated and sing this song. And I want you to notice if you can sing it from memory. And I am going to invite you to sing it with the word wretch, not soul, which can be uncomfortable. Let's begin.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. A precious day that grace appeared, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we beget 10,000 years, precious be gone.
Imagine the interview. Somewhere before the beginning of time, you're sitting in a waiting room, fluorescent nebulas swirling about. A door or a black hole opens and someone with a clipboard calls your name, except you don't have a name yet, none the matter. The questions begin. Why do you want to exist? What do you think you'll bring to, what shall we call it, the experience? Where do you see yourself in 5 billion years? Of course, there was no interview at the beginning of existence, at least not that I remember. Maybe one of you do. Nobody auditioned. Nobody read our references. Nobody weighed you against other candidates. And yet, here you are. A statistician actually ran the odds of you, of every ancestor finding each other, of every cell finding its one match, 150 generations of lotteries in a row, and the final number, the probability, is greater than if we counted every atom in the observable universe. Written out in normal font, the number of zeros would form a line 4 miles long. 1 to the power of 2,685,000. What a marvel you are. And to think, you're not even the main event. I mean, none of us are. For even the universe had to get everything just right. Space had to expand at just the right speed, too fast and everything flies apart before a single star can light, too slow and the whole thing collapses back on itself like a held breath. It came out of darkness, balanced on an edge, and it held. And then it had to make the right kind of ash. Every carbon atom in your body was cooked inside a star. Carbon forms at only just the right with the right physics have to line up. A star had to burn for 1 million years and then die and then explode loudly enough to scatter itself across the dark so that one day some of it could become you. You are 18% carbon by weight, after all. Your bones are the leftovers of something that exploded long before there was anyone to name it. Finding itself living upon this world that found its way at just the right distance from a blazing star, close enough and the water would have, well, evaporated. Further away, it would have froze, a true Goldilocks of a world. And then, not all at once, but slowly, life emerges. Starting a 4 billion years of an unbroken chain of every fish, every shrew, every grandmother who lived long enough to hand the flame into the next waiting hand, not one link broken, not one, all of it, holding on so that you could be here, that we could be here, alive against the largest odds that ever were. Everyone in this sanctuary, the same dice roll. The person sitting next to you, 2 million zeros of unlikelihood right there, singing too loudly or softly for your preference, depending. Go ahead, look at them. And I want you to say, hey, you statistical impossibility. You're so quiet. We're going to try it again. Hey, you statistical impossibility.
Hey, you statistical improbability.
I find deep awe at this improbability of my hands made up of exploded stardust, of this Goldilocks of a planet that we share, that we are not just an audience to this miraculous show, but a miracle within it. What a gift. Unitarian Universalist minister Forrest Church described this reality as grace. the love that loves us into being and sustains us. Notice what's missing from that sentence: no application, no deserving. It shows up for everyone, and that is the scandal of it all. The first thing that was ever true about you is that you were given. Before you did anything, before you failed at anything, before you were told who you had to become, you were given. You were already home. It's all a gift. As Wendell Berry writes, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. I first wrestled with the word grace in college. In my Catholic theology class, where I was an outsider by a few metrics, a humanist, Unitarian, Universalist, studying transubstantiation and original sin for the first time, trying to catch up before the midterm, I kept showing up at my professor's office during office hours. Week after week, I'd ask her to explain whatever concept wouldn't fit in my head, and she would, patiently. And I'd walk out thinking that I had it, and then, it just kind of slips away as I walk down the stairs. One week, the stumbling block was grace. The freely given, unmerited favor and love of God poured out on people who did nothing to observe it and earn it. I remember the look on her face when I asked her to explain grace to me yet again. She was sort of like the Oracle from The Matrix. She had this knowing smile because she already knew the question that I was going to ask and answers it anyways. And no matter how many ways I asked, she never got frustrated. I actually think she liked how much I struggled with it all, as if my thrashing was kind of tilling the soil. It took me years to see why grace wouldn't fit. There was nowhere in my life to put it. For I had been keeping a ledger on myself since all of those gold stars on the behavior chart in preschool. Every deed, every misdeed, questions of did I measure up, did I do enough? Nobody taught me to do this ledger per se. I kind of breathed it in. I think we all do in this society, where stories of you get what you deserve and you deserve what you get permeate our world. A ledger that you can never truly close, and as you grow older, it becomes sort of a treadmill of shame. Nobody warns you that the longer you live, the worse the math gets on this ledger. Because as I got older and I met my own fallibility over and over again, not as a concept, but as a concrete reality of the promises that I broke, of the people I hurt, most of whom I loved deeply. When you're young, this sort of ledger feels winnable, like you might be able to catch up in time to make up for everything that went astray. But as you accumulate a past, one day you run the honest numbers and realize you're never closing this book completely. And not because I stopped trying, but because I'm human. And human lives don't balance like budgets or math equations. And so into that backdrop drops this word, grace. Worth handed to you before you made a single thing, that you cannot run up by winning or spend down by losing. And everything in me said no. It sounded like a scam. Somewhere in me, a voice demanded, but what did they do to deserve it? What am I supposed to do with grace? As the Christian writer Scott Erickson wrote in his devotional book, grace is theologically defined in the Christian world as the freely given, unmerited favor and love of God, which as a definition, he continues, is beyond fantastic, but as a daily, tangible experience, I have some questions. Does divine love mean I should expect an invisible hug at some point today? Does divine favor mean that things will mostly go my way? I mean, not so much my way that I become a spherical Veruca Salt, but maybe enough that my hashtag blessed posts on social media are evidence of God's goodness in my life. I don't know what your questions are, he continues, but abstract religious talk about unconditional love can leave me a little confused about what kind of affections I can expect from an invisible deity. Because sometimes the gift of life, the gift of this life, doesn't feel like a gift. Or maybe it feels like a gift that we'd like to return, or at least exchange for a different one. Like, no thanks, this diagnosis doesn't feel like a gift. Or the layoff that arrives by email at 4:58 on a Friday. Or the silence after a memorial. Like the compulsion that you swore you'd finally beaten, given back to you this year like it was never gone. Nobody applied for any of that either. Nobody applied for the tired, and not just the sleepy tired, the one where you sit in the car in the driveway, the engine off, because it's the only room in your life where nobody needs anything from you. Nobody applied for the text thread that just stops in March, for the moment in parents where you just have to let it go because bashing your head into a wall seems like the only alternative. Had one of those last night. Nobody applied for the voice there at 3 a.m. that has your accent, that is keeping those records, that everyone else has this figured out, that if they knew what you were actually like. And some nights it goes bigger. In this burning world, you, just one small person, never enough. The voice does not distinguish between your failures and the world's. It just hands you both. And you fight it. You fight it. You use the planner and the app, the petition, the spiritual practice, 9 days of working it, and you're finally in the driveway again. So you try harder, because that's the rule, the whole rule you were raised on, that you're not finished, that you're not good enough, you're not fixed yet, not calm enough yet, not finished, and it's on you to finish it all, and so you grip tighter and tighter. It's fine, we're fine, I'm fine, we're fine, it's fine. Do you do fine in Wyoming? And you cannot find a way out. And the voice says, see, it's you. It's always been you. It's interesting, I found that there is a subset of atheists within our churches, within Unitarian Universalist churches, that never have a problem with the word grace. Do you know who it is? It's the atheists who go to 12-step meetings, who are part of AA, NA, who gather under first names only in folding chairs, where the price of admission is a single sentence, I can't, help me. The miracle they testify to is the moment they admit that they are powerless. The moment the groaning stops, and it's not because they earned it, it's exactly because they didn't. Down at the bottom, there's only one prayer left, and it barely has words, and I think we've all said it. You may have said it in the last few hours. Please, find me. I can't get to me from here. I once was lost. I still feel lost. Help me to be found. And it's in those moments that we seek assurance. The assurance that the theologian Paul Tillich found words for. Grace strikes us when we are in great pain and restlessness. It strikes us when we walk through the dark valley of a meaningless and empty life. Sometimes at that moment, a wave of light breaks into our darkness, and it is though a voice were saying, you are accepted. You are accepted. Accepted by that which is greater than you, and the name of which you do not know. Do not ask for the name now. Perhaps you might find it later. Do not try anything now. Do not seek anything, do not perform anything, do not intend anything. Simply accept the fact that you are accepted. I go and find the place where the wood drake. I rest in the grace of wild things. I once was lost and now am found. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. These lines from Amazing Grace, even the one that saved a wretch like me, these are part of us, I think, that bristles at that line, but there's a part of us that says, yep, that's me. And not in a I hate myself kind of way, but in an honest part, yeah, sometimes. Lovingly, like Mr. Rogers within us, honestly gazing at our whole life and saying, you're kind of a mess sometimes, but that's okay. I still like you. Our Unitarian Universalist ancestors have been wrestling with grace for a long time. The Universalists, like Hosea Ballou, rejected the Calvinism of the day where one God would elect a few and burn the rest. Ballou called that God a slander against love. His antidote was also scandalous, that everyone is held, that everyone is loved, no exceptions, no fine print, and not because we are good, because love is, that we are already home in this world that is ours. The Unitarians, on the other hand, like William Ellery Channing, that same Calvinism that carried a verdict on human nature, it said we are depraved from birth, rotten to the root, nothing worth trusting. Channing preached the opposite, that there is something in you that is like God, and the point of human life is to grow it, that you are not finished, and your capacity to grow and change, that is grace too. I think held together, they contain the truest expression of grace that I've ever heard, that you are already home, whole and holy, and you are not finished yet. Thanks be to God. Giving us an antidote to the shame that doesn't let us off the hook, that we don't grow in order to get held, we grow because we are held. And the thing that wakes us up in us when we finally believe that we belong here, I think that is grace. I think that is a likeness to God, this capacity within us, not our report cards, not our ledgers, not our bank accounts, not the results of the next election. This is our birthright. It came folded inside you like a gift. You didn't interview, you didn't deserve it. Grace is in fact the whole thing, the love that will not let you go, and the growing that lets love loose in this world. I just kind of imagine my professor with her oracle smile watching me thrash. I think she knew that the word wouldn't let go of me because it knew something I didn't, that I was already held. And all of that reaching wasn't the problem, but thinking I had to reach to even merit belonging and worthiness was. And I am grateful for all my thrashing. Amen. And blessed be. And now would you rise in body and spirit for our closing hymn, a song all about our resolution and our way forward. It is in your teal. It is 10:15. I know I can.
sister in my heart, my brother in my song. Though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on. And though the journey is long, the destination is near. Though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on. So brothers, take my hand, and sisters, sing my song. When hope awaits at every turn, I know I can go on. I can go on.
Now please remain standing as we extinguish our chalice flame and speak together the words in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry within our hearts until we are together again.
As you go forth this week, I want you to notice when you are keeping a ledger on yourself to prove your worthiness. And I invite you to rest in something greater. You do not need to be good, you just need to be. And ironically, by resting in that grace, goodness pours forth. Our service is over, and yet our service to this world just continues. Go in peace and in love. Amen.